is really happening?
Yeah, it's happening.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a brand new Jurassic World Chaos Theory video. I hope you've all been enjoying the content here on the channel lately, as we have really ramped up production with all of the Chaos Theory content, whether that be with the clips, whether that be with breakdowns, with reviews, anything. Today is the day where Chaos Theory has finally released to the public. So if you have not watched Chaos Theory yet, and I mean episodes 1 to 10, stop watching this video right now. Go watch the series first, because I don't want you to be spoiled, because it's actually a really good season. It's a really good show, and I just know for a fact that you guys are also going to enjoy it if you haven't already. So please, this video is going to be filled with spoilers. I'm going to talk spoilers, I'm going to talk openly about it. So if you have not seen season 1 of Chaos Theory, don't watch this video, go watch it first. That goes for the comments as well. The comments are going to be filled with spoilers, I know that for a fact, so don't head on down to the comments either. So make sure this is your third final warning that this video is filled with spoilers, so please be aware of that. Don't get spoiled about Chaos Theory, because I highly recommend that you should watch the show for yourself. It is literally that good. There's no point spoiling yourselves. But now, without any further ado, once you're ready, sit back and relaxed, enjoying your G Fuel after using code SWERVE, let's go into a short spoiler-filled review about Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 1. Well. You guys, well, some of you guys were thinking that I was lying about how good this show is when it does come to Chaos Theory Season 1. And I was going to record this video beforehand, but I thought, okay, let's try and wait to see the general audience's, reaction, first initial thoughts. And yeah, some of you guys have apologized, and some of you guys have been saying how amazing Chaos Theory really is. So it's really nice to see all of you guys so happy about it and enjoying the show. And there's so many different aspects and reviews out there which are so different but so similar in a positive way. It's so nice to see people talking about certain parts of the show. And one way, well, it's the best to describe it, it's a mature mystery, and that's exactly what it is. Sure, it's animated and it might be aimed to a younger audience, but if you're an older audience person, you're going to understand a lot of this, you're going to enjoy a lot of this, and that's what I really loved about Chaos Theory. Of course, I have covered my main portions of the review in my previous review, so if you do want to check that out, you'll probably know what I'm talking about in that review, even though there's no spoilers in it. So go check out my initial review, my initial first reactions to it, because I basically talk a lot more. Here, I'm just going to talk about some story plot points, what I liked and disliked about the story, and exactly what happened, and where Chaos Theory is going to go in the future. But firstly, the Atrociraptors. Man, they were so good. They were actually so good. Although we never really got a name for the woman who was controlling the Atrociraptors, she was creepy. She was so creepy. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it was a matter of not having eyebrows, is the way that she kind of just turned her head slowly or fast in a very demonic way. It was so creepy to have her, but then there was one point where she showed a little emotion in episode 10 where you could see that the Atrociraptors were kind of really dragged out, and they were tired, they were injured, they were hurt, but they were still listening to her. But she realized that these dinosaurs are more I don't know, she had an emotional connection to them. So whilst I did kind of hate her, because understandably she's supposed to be someone we hate, there was a bit of emotion there, And I really enjoyed that part, because it shows that even the villains have their good moments, or at least their more human moments, let's say. So when it comes to the Atrociraptors in Jurassic World Chaos Theory, they were absolutely phenomenal. Whether that's what they looked like, their animation, or what they had in their story. Because as I just mentioned, they weren't just mindless killing machines like we saw in Dominion. They were animals, and you can see that yes, they are still listening to their commands, but they're hurt, they're tired, they're injured, and then you get to see that, and you just kind of you relate to them a little bit. And it's weird to say that because they are animated dinosaurs, but you start to relate to them and you see them more as dinosaurs, but also more like a pet in some way as well. So I really do enjoy the way that the creators of Chaos Theory were able to make these dinosaurs and not just mindless killing machines like they were in Dominion, despite them being pretty cool in Dominion. And talking about feeling sorry for people that you never thought you'd ever feel sorry for, I did briefly touch up about this in my previous review, but Kenji's dad, I'll be honest, that hurt. I was not expecting them to kill him off. I knew he was going to appear in some way. I thought he'd probably play a big role in season 2 of Chaos Theory, like he might have some kind of character arc. And especially when we see that Kenji was walking away from his dad, and his dad had a change of heart, I thought that was the moment where he was going to set his ways straight, and something's going to happen to him where he's able to escape, but then also, you know, protect his son and get closer to his son. And I thought a good character development was going to happen there. You can imagine how heartbroken I was when he saved his own son by tackling an Atrociraptor of all things, and then being killed in such a gruesome way. I think probably, yeah, I'd say probably the most gruesome way of the whole season. That's probably the most gruesome death that we had, because we can see the claw of the Atrociraptor. We can see it like leading up to practically just kill him in the way that Udesky was killed in Jurassic Park 3. So, you know, all of these things. Oh, I just felt my heart couldn't take it. My heart actually couldn't take it when it came to the death of Kenji's dad. Like, he was, you know, of course he wasn't likable, but he got to a stage where, you know, you could tolerate him a little bit more. And, you know, I assumed that he was going to have a character development. So just to see him die off in that way as well, oh, it tugged on my heartstrings. It really did. Now, there are two things that weren't really utilised in this show that I do want to talk about for spoilers' sake. One of them would actually be the Suchomimus. I did mention in my previous review stating that, you know, some things just show up for the sake of showing up, and I was referring to the Suchomimus. The Suchomimus is cool. I love it. I'm not too much of a fan when it comes to his design, but he kind of just, you know, he's there. That's practically it, and that was very underwhelming, very disappointing. I understand we aren't actually owed the Suchomimus to be on screen as much as it was. Yes, it's been canon for a long time, but, you know, I just felt like they could have utilised him in a better way. Like, when we see the Beckel Spinax fall into the water, I think having a Suchomimus at that point would have been a better option, merely because if they do the same storyline, but replace the Beckel Spinax with the Suchomimus, and then the Suchomimus is swimming within the water to kind of show how waterfowl the Spinosaurids were back in their days, I feel like that would have been a lot better to utilise the Suchomimus rather than the Beckel Spinax at the time. So yeah, I do feel like the Suchomimus was wasted, and I feel like there's a better opportunity for him. And with the way that Season 2 seems to be going, I just don't think that the Suchomimus is actually going to show up in Season 2 whatsoever. So he is going to be quite a boring dinosaur, and I know some people are excited to see the Sucho, but at the same time, he didn't really do anything. So I know there's going to be some people who are very disappointed, to say the least. But in regards to also being disappointed and not utilised correctly, Bumpy, you know, Bumpy was fun. You know, you still had that emotional connection to her, especially at the point where I actually thought she was dying. I could not believe it. Like, after Kenji's dad's death, I thought anything could happen. And with Bumpy dying, it hurt me because I felt like they were actually going to do it. Just to find out she's pregnant. Because halfway through the season, I did think, hold on, there's supposed to be a baby Ankylosaurus somewhere. We haven't seen that yet. And now we know where that's going to happen. That's going to be in Season 2 of Chaos Theory. And it's going to be Bumpy's, well, I assume daughter, but it could be her son as well. So whilst we haven't seen the baby Ankylosaurus yet, we do know it's on the way. And it's very good and very exciting to see something like that. But let's talk about the main thing of the show. Again, you know, you guys, if you are still here and you're fine with spoilers, the next thing I'm going to talk about, major spoilers ahead. Okay, major spoilers. Please just go watch the show. Don't listen to these spoilers. But this is your final warning. Here we go. Brooklyn. Right, let's talk about Brooklyn. Okay, we know she's alive. We know she's out there. We know she's lost an arm. Practically confirming my theory to be correct once again. I'm very good with my theories. So yeah, it turns out Brooklyn is actually that Sydney character that was actually being casted way back in 2021 or 2022. But what I really enjoyed about Brooklyn's story here is that a lot of it took place off screen. We had loads of flashbacks to her, and we got to kind of see how these characters always now and then think back to their last moments with Brooklyn without realizing it was their last moments. Whether that's with Yasmina, whether that's Sammy with the jacket, or whether that's even Kenji with the way that he just kind of broke up with her. Like, I didn't think I'd actually, feel emotionally invested with that relationship, but for some reason, knowing that she supposedly died at that time, it felt, I don't know, it felt harder to learn of what happened in their relationship, But in regards about learning about her story when she's not even there, it's the way that the creators of Chaos Theory were able to tell her story without directly telling it. And what I mean by that is getting Kenji and Darius to go ahead, to go to her secret compartment or her secret base, her apartment, whatever it is, and they started to discover a lot of things. One of which, it was a nice little Easter egg. She was on Dino Tracker quite frequently. She stashed loads of money, which I assume that Kenji's father paid her. And she just did loads and loads of research, and obviously the finale of this season confirmed that she's posted all of these articles on Dark Jurassic. So it's just very interesting how the creators of this show were able to utilize the ability to tell her story without her actually being there. And I really appreciate that. Like, that was really, really good. It made the show what it was. Like, as soon as we started to delve more deeper into the human stories and kind of understood her story overall, I was thinking this show it's a mature mystery, as I said earlier. It's really, really good. And it kind of just kept you on the edge of your seat, but in the sense that it just made you keep thinking, if that makes sense. Like, you just kept thinking about what's happening next. Why did she do this? And, some questions were answered, some weren't, and I assume will be in Season 2. So, there's that. But for me personally, I don't know how I feel about the ending. I mean, sure, it's great that she's alive, and I'm sure she'll have a big plot point when it comes to Season 2. But it's the way that her character kind of went, spiraled downhill. Like, she was a lovable, happy person, and now she's dealing into the dark depths of Dark Jurassic. Like, I want to know what happened with her mindset during that time to make her do something like that. But at the same time, I feel like if I was to go back and watch Chaos Theory for a second time, I can't really feel that emotion to the majority of the scenes that we did see in Season 1 relating to her, because I know she's still alive and I don't really need to worry about that. So I think, although I am happy she's alive, I think it probably, for the sake of the story, would have been better if she was killed off. And I know that might be controversial to say, I understand that, but, I feel like for the sake of the story, maybe killing her off would have actually been alright. It would have been one of those deaths where I would have been upset about, because it actually makes sense to the story and it just adds more to the other characters. So whatever is going to happen in Season 2, I would be open to it. But again, I don't think that they're going to kill off any of the New Blast 6, which I think that they should. I know, again, very controversial, but they're adults now, they've been through a lot. How much plot armor these guys are going to have? So I think that at one stage, to feel more emotionally invested in these characters is to potentially kill one of them off. But we'll just have to wait and see. Overall, at the ending, I don't know. I think the ending kind of dragged down my opinion of the show just a little bit, which I wasn't expecting, because I did have my feeling and a hunch that Brooklyn was still going to be alive, but actually seeing her alive, I don't know how I feel about it anymore. But yeah, either way, the show is still really, really good, and I did really, really thoroughly enjoy it. So again, I'm sure there's some people who don't care about spoilers who have gotten to this part of the video. Just go watch it for yourself. It's really good, honestly. But that's where I'm going to wrap up this review, because I don't want it to go too long, because my previous review kind of basically discussed everything I mainly wanted to discuss. But as for spoilers, this is what I just wanted to talk about. Obviously, a Season 2 is going to happen. Where are the campers going to go? Where was Brooklyn going? What happened to her? We need a lot of answers. So that's exactly what we're going to be discussing in the next few months leading up to Chaos Theory Season 2, which I assume will be releasing around August, September time, if we're basing it off what happened with Camp Cretaceous. So we've only got 3 to 4 months left to go. So, stay tuned here on the channel, because I can guarantee we'll be posting loads of Chaos Theory content, loads of Jurassic content that I know you'll love. But in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and like the video if you enjoyed. But most importantly, make sure you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.